you know, every team is so new. Every year is so new. When you graduate Wayne Chisholm, who was the winningest player in the history of Tennessee basketball, regular season, NCAA tournament. J.P. Prince has been in the program for 3 years. Tyler, 3 years. Bobby Mays, a 2-year starter at point guard. The face of our team changed tremendously. I think that's also what's so interesting, I think, for our fans. They're kind of curious. They've not seen Melvin as a starter. They've not seen Cameron as a starter. They've been waiting to watch Brian Williams get slimmer and trimmer and play like he did in New York. Now, hopefully we can build on that. They're wondering whether or not Tobias is as good as his press clippings and all. You know, he's just super solid. But this team has worked really hard in the preseason. They worked hard in the preseason as much as anything because they knew the opportunity existed. They knew there was going to be great competition at the positions. And so I think our team has trained extremely hard. They practiced well. We've not played as well. A few weeks ago, I was pretty concerned about where we were. But again, it's early and it's early for everything. The bottom line is the teams that are going to get there at the end are the ones that are going to grow the most throughout the season. That's the bottom line. And that's what Coach Dooley always talked about. He kept talking about the process, not the end result. The process of becoming a better football team. And you could see it every week. You could see the passing game develop. You could see the defense and the toughness there. And I think we got a great coaching staff. I mean, I think these guys are special. And I'm just pretty impressed by what they've done this year. And especially the way they've handled those kids, and those kids bought in. Well, it was Brandy Pearl. Brandy Pearl was completely responsible for, no, listen. I went up to Granger County back in the day when I used to be able to go out and recruit. I went up to Granger County a lot. By the way, you remember all those times you guys called me maybe to play golf or maybe to go out? I got time to do it this spring and summer, so I apologize. I haven't been out there very much. But Brandy and I went to see Skylar play a bunch, and two things about Skylar that appealed to her. Number one, he talks just like she does. You know, she's from Seymour, and those two, I like needing an interpreter with Skylar, you know, and Brandy's sort of my interpreter. And then she kind of thought his arms were cut pretty cute, so that was what her attraction was to Skylar. And I'm glad I took him. I'm really glad I took him, and he's improved tremendously. How about that shot with 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go against the no, yes! There are two answers. First of all, understand that the actions by the university, even by myself as head coach, and now Mike Slive, our commissioner, some of these penalties are unprecedentedly severe and historic from a historic standpoint. Because we want to impress upon our fans, we want to impress upon the folks that are dealing with it that we take these seriously, and we're going to impose some severe penalties on ourselves. But at the same time, it's our job to try not to have those penalties prevent us from being competitive. And you know, I'm going to be out 8 days, and I'm going to still be able to be involved in coaching and putting game plans together. And my assistant coaches will execute those game plans just like we always do. They'll just be minus me. And so Tony Jones, my associate coach, will do an outstanding job kind of keeping it all together. Jason Shea will help him in the offense. Steve Forbes will help him in the defense. And the players are going to play for him. And Tony's prepared. He's been with me for a long time. This is a staff that has got great continuity. And so, you know, we just take them one game at a time. I promise you, we're focused on Middle Tennessee. And when you see Middle Tennessee play tomorrow, you'll understand why that's our focus. And we'll focus on the schedule right up until we get to that point. But I understand the question because it's looming out there. But believe me, that's way down the road. You know, right now we're working on trying to deal with Middle Tennessee's ball screen offense and how can we do a better job of communicating and covering.
Two things. Tyler Summit, will you talk about him being on the team and stuff? And the second thing is, if you're going to have an extra seat for those 8 games, do you care if I sit down there?
I'm not sure I can trust you with the officials. That'd be my biggest concern. That'd be a no. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen your donor card. You don't give me enough money to sit in that chair. Tyler's great. You know, Tyler obviously, I knew at some point Tyler would join our team because he wants to be a coach, and he made that really clear. And so he's already worked for the best coach at Tennessee, so I figured out he'd work for the second best coach at the university for a little bit. I didn't think we'd get to him quite this quickly. But, you know, Tyler is he's doing a terrific job in practice. He's another guy, kind of like Steven, that, you know, really didn't belong on our roster, you know, at first. Because they were good high school players, Steven at West, Tyler at Webb, but just weren't quite ready for that. But, you know, with the way Tyler's trained and the way he's worked, he's already gained the respect of our players and our coaches, and he's a very, very effective practice player. And, you know, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know, see what the future is, but our job as coaches is to provide our students, you know, with different opportunities. And our student athletes have an opportunity to play, and we have students that are managers, and we have students that are walk-ons, and I have students that are video guys, and students that are involved in the sports management program and marketing and helping out in a lot of different areas. And so my door is open, and I will give students an opportunity to participate in our program. And so when Tyler came and saw me, that was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. I was smarter than that middle school coach that cut Tyler Summit back in 8th grade. I was smarter than he was. We knew going in that 2011 was going to be a thin year in the front line. We needed a post, and there weren't very many posts out in 2011, and we didn't get one early. For me, it's quality, not quantity, in the sense that I just don't want to take somebody that can't have us in the upper half of our league. And yeah, maybe we'll develop a project, maybe, but I'm just not going to waste a scholarship. They're precious and they're few. And so we're involved with some bigs, not many, but we are involved with some. And I'd like to get one if we can. If we can't, we're going to be smaller and we're going to be undersized, and we'll change the way we play. Right now we're big and we're playing to that strength. But we'll find a way, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of not, you know, and our getting one will have very little to do with whether or not we can be out right now. That's not the issue. The not being out right now will be more of a factor in 2012. But we've got a really good foundation in the future classes, because having been on staff now for 5 years, you know, we've been trying to recruit the younger you can start recruiting them, the more they actually want to be recruited. The older they get, the more tired they are. We've been picked fourth in the East, and we just beat you know, the team that is picked to win the Big East or finish second. You know, Pittsburgh is right there with them. Vanderbilt's already beat North Carolina. Florida had a good win last night against Florida State. Florida's the team to beat. They got all the veterans, they got all the experience, they got a huge front line, and I think they're the team to beat. And then I think if you put Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, and Vanderbilt all together, somebody in that group's going to finish second, and somebody in that group's going to finish, you know, fifth or sixth. And South Carolina is a team that, you know, nobody's talking about, but they're quietly off to a pretty good start. They had a nice double overtime win over Western Kentucky, a pretty good team. I think their talent level isn't quite what the others are. I think there are 5 NCAA tournament teams that will come out of the East. That's the most since I've been here. So this is a very, very competitive East. Out West, Mississippi State, when they get some players back that are not eligible until the 9th game, that looks to be the most talented team out West. And I think Ole Miss could be pretty good because they got some really good guards. And then somebody else from the West will kind of surprise. But I'd look at 5 teams from the East and probably 2 teams out West that'll be vying for 6 or 7 spots in the tournament.